Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Oh my goodness. These weekends go by fast, don't they? Here we are back into Monday, and I am just so grateful to be here with you. If you're live with me, this episode is all about hormones. Are they talking? Are you listening? And balancing your hormones with your age. So I would love to, for those of you that are popping on live with me, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know around hormones what you're feeling. Are you feeling symptoms? Are there hot flashes? Is there irritability? Like what does that look like for you in your health journey? Because this is what I want to solve for you and give you some support around it, because hormone balancing is so big out there and everybody's talking about hormone balancing. So I'm Dr. Holly Donahue, the root cause doctor. And today I just want to say it is one of the misunderstood emotional and transformational topics in your health. It's your hormones. Okay. So many people think, oh, it's just easy. I'll just go and take replacement hormones and I'll be better, right? But they're not talking about the deep connection. So if you can and you feel right, I want you to just close your eyes for a moment. And imagine waking up on January 2nd, really feeling grounded and clear and even strong. You go to put on your favorite pants or jeans and your clothes fit. Your mood feels balanced and stable. And even your energy, you're not tired when you get yourself out of bed. That, my friends, is not a fantasy. It's what I call hormonal harmony, because hormones are just messengers and they're constantly talking to our bodies. They're telling us, how do we metabolize, how do we focus, how do we burn fat, rest, repair. But many of us aren't listening because we don't know, right? We're living in a constant stress loop. I also call it the sugar stress loop, for those of you that have done my sugar detox. And I'm going to be actually talking about it today live. I'm going to be talking on GLP rebound, the hormone metabolism reset, which might be something. It's at 4 p.m. It will really help you if you're available. So I'll be going live. But living in that constant stress loop, feeding the fire with sugar and caffeine and even overcommitment. Yes is not yes until we learn how to say no. And wondering why you're exhausted and inflamed. So today I want to change that for you. Are we ready? Drop ready in the chat if you're ready. Okay, great. Let's go. So the hormone connection, estrogen, it is your vitalizer. It isn't just about reproduction. It helps with your brain health, with your bone health, with your mood, and even the elasticity of your skin. And so estrogen declines in perimenopause and menopause. And when it declines, if your bodies and your hormones aren't totally balanced, then we begin to see an increase in inflammation, maybe joint, fingers, hips, knee pain, and even like brain fog. That's a big one these days that patients come to the clinic with. They just can't really recall like they used to. And it's a little scary for them. And they're a little concerned to admit it. But what I say to my patients is, I need to know so I can support you. And I do know by research that low estrogen levels are linked to mitochondrial dysfunction and cognitive decline. So when I think about actually supporting estrogen, not just taking estrogen or biased, I think of fresh ground flax seeds, which give us the flaxseed lignans, pomegranates like antioxidants, Don Quai, and even movement for circulation, because we are meant to move our bodies. Even though so many individuals are at home now and working from their desks, it's still like, get up and move your body every 50 minutes or so. I actually have patients like set an alarm for themselves. Progesterone, that is your calming hormone. It helps you sleep. It reduces your anxiety. It helps balance out estrogen, right? When we know the hormonal cycle, the female hormonal and male hormonal cycle, and it actually calms inflammation. So if you're in that chronic stress, it can steal your progesterone to make cortisol. I share that all the time. If you're in that fight or flight and that cortisol mode, your chronic stress is driven towards cortisol and nothing else can be made. And what does this do emotionally? It leaves you anxious and wired and tired. We know that chronic stress suppresses your luteal phase progesterone and impacts sleep and mood. So some of the natural herbs and processes that I think of, like magnesium, B vitamins like B6, Vitex, which is chasteberry, which is more of a progesterone, which is Donahue, is more of an estrogen-based herb. And even so simple that doesn't cost any money, but you just get to figure out how to put it into your daily life, is evening relaxation rituals. Like being grateful for what you're here for, like showing up for yourself and doing meditation or breathing, like quieting all the noise before you actually go to bed. And then testosterone, that is your hormone of drive and strength. In both men and women, low testosterone equals low motivation. It can also equal low libido, sex drive, weaken your muscles, and you can get mood dips. Testosterone maintains lean body mass and cognitive vitality in aging adults. So, what are some of the best natural supports? Weight training, lifting weights and resistance training, moving your body. I also think of zinc and maca root. Make sure you get a quality maca, because everybody's been talking about maca and there is some toxicity in some of the maca. So always make sure, if it's indicated and you've talked to your practitioner, that you're taking quality pharmaceutical grade supplements. And tribulus I use in men as well. It's an herb. So that's how we actually support estrogen, how we look at progesterone, and how we look at testosterone. Now I want to go into the metabolism hormones, right? Insulin is your storage manager. It controls blood sugar and fat storage. If you have too much sugar coming in, and even simple starches, you guys, like carbs, like potatoes and rices, and, I think of winter squashes and things, then that could be too much sugar for your body. And my goal is always to figure out what is needed for your body to function. So insulin controls your blood sugar and your fat storage. I want to repeat that again because that's key. If we have too much sugar, we can become insulin resistant. We increase inflammation, and then our aging is accelerated. So by changing your diet, I can't tell you how many patients come into the clinic and I change their diet and they look brighter and their skin tone is back and they're more energetically like there. It's most likely because I've taken out a lot of sugar and starches that they didn't even realize that they were addicted to. Remember, I want to let you know that I'm running a 5-day metabolism reset challenge. I will drop the link in the chat. And please, please, please feel free to show up for today. So that's your opt-in. So go ahead and go over and opt in. And I'm going to be talking about all of this today. And throughout the whole week to help you do metabolism figure out how your metabolism is disrupted and how can we reset it. So we know that insulin resistance really accelerates cognitive aging and decline. Type 3 diabetes is Alzheimer's / dementia, right? The sugar has to go somewhere. So some of the natural supports that I think about are like cinnamon, chromium, and even your macronutrients like protein and healthy fats and carbohydrates. Now, the carbs that I would lead into first are your vegetables, not a potato, not a rice, not the way that we've been taught to actually build our plate. The reality is most people do not eat enough vegetables, colorful vegetables, and minerals and nutrients, and our soils aren't as rich. So I say 12 varying types of vegetables a day, and patients are like, what? I can't do that. And then they begin to work with me and they figure it out. And that's as in anything. And that's why I show up for all of you to actually support you, right? And give my heart to you. So the last one I want to talk about is cortisol. And I call that your fire alarm because cortisol wakes you up. It's adaptive and it's survival, right? However, chronic stress over time keeps that dial turned on, like way up. And guess what that's going to do? It's going to suppress your progesterone, disrupt your sleep, and aging to your brain. So when patients come in and they're agitated and they just want to go on hormone replacement therapy, I'm saying that lightly and with love. There are many things that we do, especially making sure their detox pathways are open and their stress is in check and their nervous system is regulated and they've got their cortisol firing down. We actually look at their cortisol curve. And then we may step into that. I want to make sure as a root cause doctor that their body is functioning appropriately. Does that make sense? So we know in my history of doing this long term that elevated cortisol, it shortens your telomeres. We talked about this the other week. And your telomeres are markers of biological aging. So we want to make sure that we're keeping our stress in check and that we're eating the right amount of food, moving our body, and having times of relaxing our nervous system because the truth is our body is not meant to push. How many of you have stepped back and said, I am so grateful for my body to show up for me today? Right? How many of you say that to yourself? Like, my body carried me through that stress, or my body carried me through an amazing workout today, right? Like, that's on point for you and listening to messages from your body. So some of the natural supports that I use for adrenals, again, I make sure people are sleeping. What time are they going to bed? What time are they getting up? Is their room like ready for sleep? Is it cool enough? Are they, energetically closing their phones and their screens down? Their relationship, like your bed should only be made to sleep, no TVs, right? So that's going to help bring down cortisol at night. Melatonin can then kick in, and then you can get sound sleep. So some of the natural supports, there are so many. I'm just giving you and connecting with some of the most popular ones I use, but there are so many. And I actually gear those herbs to the patient. So some of the natural supports that I think about are ashwagandha, which we talked about on Friday. I remember spelling it out for a client. Rhodiola, right? That was founded to send people to the moon because they needed focus and concentration. And now it's a herb that we use quite a bit in really stressed out, driven patients that we're trying to like really get into a calm state. And I have to be careful when I use rhodiola because sometimes if somebody's sensitive, it will stimulate them too much. That's why it's important to work with your practitioner. And then phosphatidylserine and even the mindfulness breath work, right? The last one that I gave you on all of these points, right? All five of them, sorry, is something that you can do that doesn't cost money, but you get to figure it out, right? You get to put it into your daily lifestyle. That's what health is. Really creating that habit stacking, like James Clears talks about in Atomic Habits, that's his keyword, not mine. And I share it with the patients. Like, what's one habit that you do before you go to bed that sets you up to ready to go to bed? So what else could you add so that you could calm your nervous system down? Or what do you do first thing in the morning? Do you have communication and connection with God or with yourself? And like inquiring, like, What's exciting is going to show up for me, right? What is going to be there for me today instead of jumping out of bed and press the go button, which is what so many do. And all of these pieces I have actually added into my lifestyle, but I didn't do it overnight, and I am certainly not perfect. So let's talk about some naturopathic approaches and balancing principles. So again, before I ever think about bioidentical hormones, your cells need to be ready to actually receive messages. You cannot fill out fill a burnt out circuit board with more electricity. You're just going to blow the fuse, right? So we're coming around to the holidays, and if you don't have enough power on your circuit board, you're not going to be able to light up your house like you may want to, right? It's the same thing for you. That's why I always start the basis with nutrition, reducing inflammation, right? Getting sugar out, building in more healthy fats and omega-3 oils, protein and healthy fats, and quality carbs, right? Those are so important. And then the next foundation is pulling out sugars. I know I just talked about it above, but these kind of go hand in hand together. Looking at your protein and your fiber for your gut, for your body, for your bowels to work. Yes, that's important, because if you're not getting rid of what you're putting in and you're constipated, then you can be creating this toxicity in the body, right? And then you want to look at regulating your cortisol. Like, are you totally stressed out? Are you always pushed? Do you just go to bed and crash? Like, what does your nervous system look like for you? Are you exhausted? Are you holding on to weight? Like, if we're in cortisol, like I talked about, we can't get the other hormones built. It's really hard because the body thinks it's in that stress state. And then lastly, you want to think about, how is your liver and your detox pathways? We want your hormones to clear properly through your body. So this is really key, only when your system is in a calm state and receptive, do I actually consider BHRT, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Other practitioners may do it differently. Maybe they feel like this is important, then we get the sleep, then maybe we can wean off. Everybody does it differently. But I want to restore what the body naturally produced when it was thriving, when it was really in a balanced state. So when we do this properly, BHRT can definitely improve your sleep, can definitely get rid of those perimenopausal, menopausal symptoms that you're experiencing, libido, cognition, bone density, and even longevity. But don't let it be a Band-Aid. It is an enhancement to a body that's already in repair mode. And that's exactly where I get my patients to. So Pocket Doc is exactly where we work on every week inside of this, understanding the messages that your body is sending and responding with science and nature, right? It is so important as we close out this year. There's so much stress and we're moving into the holidays. Your hormones are under more stress than ever. Sugars everywhere from Halloween on through the new year. You are probably drinking more. I'm not saying like copious amounts, but maybe you don't drink alcohol much at all, but now you're out at parties and things, or you're feeling like you're wired and tired. So you're having like late nights or having coffee too late in the afternoon, or there's emotional overwhelm because you're worried about showing up to the holidays with this particular friend or family member, or how is that going to play out? You don't have to plan, because if you don't, your body's going to pay the price in January if you don't have a plan. Okay. So Pocket Doc is where that weekly structure comes in. It's weekly guidance from me. I literally send you an audio and handouts. I go live twice a month. I talk about tools to calm your cortisol, to balance your hormone, and really, truly to get you to sleep. I always am sharing herbs and nutrition and lifestyle education that you can actually follow. That's simple. Or you can take it back to your functional medicine practitioner so they can support you. So if you're really interested in taking this, in being in accountability with me, I'm in your pocket every single day. You have your own community, which is so important, you guys. Like when I wanted to heal, I got to find a community. When I wanted to build a business, I found a community. When I needed to learn something because it was on my heart, I found a community. It's the same way when it comes to health. It's not just about going to the doctor and getting a medication and then being frustrated that you're not getting healthy. That doesn't work. And it didn't work for me, for those of you that know my story. They wanted to give me an antidepressant. They wanted to give me the birth control pill to balance my hormones. At 20, I was like, nope, that's not working for me. Why do you think I do what I do and I love what I do? So join us now on Pocket Talk and make this season your hormones finally feel heard, that we can create a blueprint and a plan together for you. Because your hormones are not your enemy. Don't get angry at them. They are your allies. They whisper to you every single day, like what your body needs. Does it need rest? Does it need nourishment? Does it need boundaries and saying no? Do you just need to be present and peaceful? So I'll ask you, are you listening? Imagine this. Stepping into 2026, feeling clarity, brain connection, great cognition, light, strength in your body, amazing vital energy, because you cared for your hormones starting right now. That's the future you get to create. That is what's going to take you on your journey. So I'm going to put the banner in the chat for you. And I dropped it up earlier as well, but I'm going to drop it again. Join Pocket. JoinPocketDoc.com. That will help you through the holiday season. I also posted, for those of you who have signed up, I can't wait to see you. In just about 4.5 hours, I am going live and doing a metabolism reset challenge to help support you through the holidays, to guide you. It's specifically geared to those that are on GLP-1s or thinking about it, or it's cost prohibitive, right? It's amazing. However, we want to make sure that you have the health in your hands and you know how to do this. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat again for you. Click that link. I can't wait to see you in the challenge today. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to my team. We're here for you. I am sending you so much love, light, health, and joy as you prepare for this amazing holiday season. Again, I'm Dr. Holly Donahue, the Root Cause Doctor. I can't wait to see you inside Pocket Talk if that is what is going to work for you to help support you in your healing. And let's truly make this year your strongest, your calmest, and your most vibrant season yet. Have an amazing week ahead. And drop in the chat when you listen to this on replay if you're not live. Let me know what showed up for you and what other things you would love for me to go live on, because I go live on Mondays and Fridays. All right, have a beautiful week ahead, everyone.